What's up, everyone? Welcome to Play by Play Tech, episode 13. I'm one of your hosts, Max Chambliss, alongside Moan Dog Gaming. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing?
Yeah, so today's podcast, we're going to be talking about
what a
little bit of
awkward pause there.
Yeah, it was an awkward pause. I was like, okay. Anyway, in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about Amazon a little bit because it seemed like we're looking at Amazon. Amazon just announced some of their products today, and Mo want to bring that up as part of the topic and stuff. And I think one specifically is that Amazon Ring drone.
Yeah, man. The whole, what is it, like an autonomous security drone inside your house, which I think is like the dopest thing ever. Now, granted, I don't know how much it can do as far as a criminal, because I mean, if the thing is flying around, somebody can just smack it out of the air. But they got the video of the guy. And the way the thing is built, I mean, it's pretty amazing. It's shielded. All the blades are shielded. It just blew my mind away when I saw it. I'm not a Ring fan, and I have a Nest system, and Max also has one too. If Nest was to come out with something like that, I would be all over this thing. I mean, I love that thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like indifferent with it because it's like I think it's neat, but then at the same time too, it's kind of like, what if you had to go downstairs and get some water and you just see this thing just flying around?
Well, from my understanding, it doesn't fly until it's tripped. So if like the security alarm goes off, it comes up. Or if you are away from the house and you just wanted to play with it, which I would be doing, looking around the crib just to see what's going on. I can go upstairs, go downstairs, and I'm looking forward to see how the drone automatically, sits in the dock. So,
sorry, I got a little bit distracted. My daughter just walked into the room.
Daddy, I want to be a part of the podcast. Please help me. I want to.
Yeah, she just want to be part of the podcast, so she just like bounced in like. Hey.
Anyway, I mean, I can't talk as my little one at one point was somewhat of a star of one of our podcasts, and he got his time to shine. So I mean, when you have kids and you're doing this thing, I mean, it's to be expected.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I love her. She's in this little walker, and she just like came right in, like opened up the door,
just stormed all in there.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, okay, I see it, and stuff like that. But no, but back to that whole Amazon thing. Yeah, it looks pretty sweet. I don't know. I'm still indifferent with it, even though they're saying it's not supposed to interrupt you as you kind of like walking around. But I don't know. That's kind of still left to be seen.
Yeah,
and stuff, and I'm like I say, I think it's real neat and stuff like that. The other thing that I think is pretty cool is they coming out with a Ring car cam. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that one. I saw the speakers and I saw the drone, and that's the only one I kept up with. Oh, and then I do want to talk about the gaming service that they're trying to release too. So that can be what is it, Luna? Yeah, Amazon Luna, where it's the cloud-based gaming service. But go ahead and finish your subject, and I'll hop on that.
Yeah, so the Ring car cam, if anybody know about it, it's supposed to be a security camera, protects drivers and passengers in vehicles while driving or parked by having a sensor that monitors for bumps or attempted break-ins. Dual-facing HD camera inside and around the vehicle from Wi-Fi or LTE, and an emergency crash assist that automatically calls 911 if it's a serious crash is detected. And so one of the good things about this is that it's not just a car alarm. That's why I want to make sure everybody understands that it's a camera inside your car and outside your car, that if somebody tries to break in, it'll automatically cuts on, kind of like your Nest Cam that you have in your home, and your Ring Cam that you have at home. And so how that works is that if they detect some type of motion that is trying to get into your vehicle, it'll automatically cuts on, and then it'll alert your phone to say, "Hey, somebody's trying to break into your car," or some attempts to it. And then either if you whatever your alerts are on your phone, depending on how they have it and stuff like that, it may even call the cops or something. So,
well, by hearing that too, that sounds like some of that technology is actually already out. If you were to go on Amazon, and this is not one of those Amazon, and this is like one of those Chinese based cheap iterations of it. They have some really high quality stuff in the $300, $400, $500, $600 range, and it does everything you just said. The whole glass break sensor, the alarm, you can access it from your phone because, you know, if you're parked near your house, you're already automatically connected to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So sounds like I guess Amazon would be a better better company to promote it because they're so huge. So, you know, once that comes out.
But the other feature too, I think it like I said, I think it's going to trump anything else. Is like they said that one of the most notable features is called traffic stop, which is designed for when a driver is pulled over. So the system will automatically begin recording after the driver says, "Hey Alexa, I'm being pulled over." Footage the footage will be securely stored, and there will be an option to notify a loved one of the stop and stuff. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, that's something that we can benefit from, and I don't want to go too deep in it, but you know, for people like Max and I who are African American, you know, it's kind of been our history and what we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and we both have dealt with everything you've seen on TV, you know, outside of being killed. You know, we're grateful to God that didn't happen, but we do get harassed, and you know, a technology like that would definitely be a good look in my eyes to be able to purchase something like that. So I may have to look into it. You know, I've always looked into this stuff. I just never purchased it because I don't know a lot of these big names. But I have seen a lot of this similar technology, and I think it's good. You know, the whole they have one where, and I'm pretty sure, or maybe you already named it, where if you get into an accident, it records that and it still has the previous video. That's one of them. Second one was it kind of acts like has the zones just like our cameras, and if something funky happens in front of it, like you didn't even have to be a part of the crash, but if a crash happens in front of the thing, it captures that too, using some sort of algorithm and technology. And you know, you'll have proof if you wanted to help somebody out and stop by the police and show them the video and all the stuff. So, but I think that's good. I may have to look further into that.
Yeah. So the other technology that they have here is they have this Guard Plus, where if you have like what is it, Alexa? I'll just make sure I'm saying this right. The Echo Dot. If you add this subscription to it called Guard Plus, what it will do is it will provide Alexa the capability to detect potential emergencies, detect intruders, and give customers 24/7 hands-free access to an emergency helpline. And the security system has an away mode feature that prompts Alexa to detect sound or of activity in the home and alerts the owner. Alexa can even attempt to deter intruders by playing a warning sound from your Echo device, such as sound or dogs barking. So that's I think Google has the same product if you get their alarm system. So that's something similar to what Google have. So I think this is pretty neat too. Yeah. So they said that the Guard Plus will be available in the U.S. beginning this fall for only $5 per month, or $50 or $49 per year. And then customer can also try the Guard Plus free for 1 month. So
you know what? I think that's something. Yeah, I think that's something a lot of people can benefit from. I mean, we are in a society now where everything is a subscription. So, and I know people are going to be like, "Oh my God, there's no subscription." But I mean, if you look at what it's doing for you, I think it's worth it more so than just having, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Stars, and all that at the same time. That stuff you can get rid of, but stuff that's going to benefit you and your safety and something that's going to look out for you, I think that's a good plus size to having a subscription like that. So, I definitely will be looking into it. My car, I have a 2014 car, so I don't have all the technology and bells and whistles in mine. But I got the Bluetooth. But something like that of an added feature, I would benefit from.
Yeah.
At the same time as maybe I'm not a Alexa fan, but if they had like a Google type of voice command in the car, or just get a radio with it, that type of stuff, I benefit from that type of stuff.
Yeah. So that's pretty. They have here. So besides that, they also have a video calling on the Fire TV, alongside with new personalized and customized energy efficient experience on the Fire TV. Two-way video calling will be available from the screen later this year and installed on Logitech USB webcam. So Amazon is also releasing a new Fire TV stick and a Fire TV Stick Lite, which would be more powerful and efficient, using 50% less power than the previous generation. I'm really not a Fire Stick person, but
I never was a fan of it. Yeah. Personally, I like the Google TV. The Amazon sticks were good, especially when we were a lot younger and everybody was jailbreaking them, hacking them in, and they were watching all type of stuff. But I never too much cared for it. It just wasn't. I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of it. Nothing wrong with it, I guess. I mean, it does everything, right?
Yeah, it does everything. I just never been a Fire Stick person from Amazon. I have an Apple TV, and then I have an Android TV for my Sony, so I kind of like use both of them. But I mean, hands down, I like the Apple TV better because I like how the apps features. Because I could watch Amazon, I could watch Google, I could do pretty much everything on every other TV, and I just like the features better and stuff like that. I like the Android TV as well. I like how they lay out this. I mean, it came a long way for what they had before, but yeah, that's pretty. I like those two, but Amazon, I just never really care for it that much and stuff. So, but I mean, that's a nice little feature that they have, and then I think this is where you're talking about the Lunar and Lunar Game Channel. This is where you was talking about, Moan.
Yeah.
About the Amazon Gaming Cloud services.
So the Luna, let me look at this real quick. Luna.
Yeah, Luna Game Channel. So Luna is an Amazon cloud game device, which makes it easy for stream high quality immersive video without any lengthy downloads, updates, expensive hardware, or complicated setups.
Yeah.
That sounds like Stadia. Of course, gaming service would be complete without the personalized controller. So Amazon would be releasing the Luna controller for $49.99. Yeah.
Well, so the only way that'd be successful is, number one, if you don't have to particularly use that controller. A lot of people have the Xbox controller that hooks to the PC, and it's just wonderful when you have it. Those controllers are awesome because what happens is it reduces latency, and it doesn't connect by USB. It connects through Wi-Fi. So the controller actually connects to where you're streaming from, which gives you the perfect latency. The only thing is that everybody's not going to buy that particular controller. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just never. It's like when you stream games, depending on your internet connection, it's like, even though just talking about it's going to be good quality, but you're always going to have some buffering. I don't care what they say. It's just like the internet connection now today is just, we need faster speed and more reliable speed, and so
and everybody doesn't have that.
Yeah, and we really just don't have the broadband or the actual data to do it. I mean, we really do. It's just the thing is that it costs money and stuff, and then on top of that, it's like corporations and stuff want to slowly implement when it comes to that broadband and data caps and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, we have the capability to do it. It's just they don't want it. So it's just like at this point right now, just streaming games. It's just we're not there yet. It's just like PlayStation now have their own streaming games. Stadia have their own streaming games. Apple is going to be Apple. Yeah, Apple has their own streaming games, and now you're going to have Amazon is going to be joining as well. It's kind of like it's.
Well, there's
I don't know. It's just as of right now.
They're supposed to be a little different. So instead of the way they're going about it is they're treating it as if it's a Comcast and WoW and Rocket cable service. So instead of buying separate games, which you can probably still do on there, I got to read a little bit more into it. Their target market is you buy a package as if you're buying a streaming TV package, and whatever games they allow, then you can add on EA Play, Ubisoft, what is it, Origin or Steam or whoever else, but it's an added cost of the subscription, which is going to add up to maybe $40, $50, $60. I guess what it kind of reminds you of is you're buying Game Pass, but cloud, and you're paying one price and you get all these games. And that's the part where it looks like they're focusing on. Because I guess, not Apple, but when Epic Games started this whole thing with Apple, I think this is the direction that everybody's trying to go in, so they don't have to make separate apps for everything. With Microsoft, you get one service, you get all these games. With GeForce Now, you get all the games you already own, and the only thing you pay for is to play longer. Because if there's a free version, but you can only play all your games for an hour. And Stadia, which I think is not the best option. What I will say is, for show and for looking at it, when you get on there, it is a wow factor and how the developers present this thing. But you still have to pay for all your games. But even if you pay for all the games, you still don't own them. So if you don't pay for the monthly service, you don't get the games you pay $60 for. You still have to pay the monthly service, and you have to pay $60, $70, $80 for a game. And if you decide to cancel your service, you have no access to that game anymore. I think that is the dumbest thing ever. If I pay for a game, then I should be able to play that whether I have my service or not. And you got to look at it this way. Let's take Destiny, for example. Some people bought Destiny on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Stadia, wherever else, and then you go to Stadia, you pay for it, but you don't own it even though you pay for it. I just think it's the worst. And Google really needs to come out with something with that, because it's supposed to be the Netflix of games, which is kind of Xbox Game Pass thing, except Game Pass, you can download your games. I'm cool with not downloading my games through Google, because it's the same thing with Google Drive when you put stuff on there, and but I don't mind if I can't even download the game, just as long as the service is on, I can access it whether I pay the subscription or not. That should be the go-to, and I hope Google's listening to this.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said before, I just never liked the idea of streaming. I mean, right now it's just the thing is I like to download my game, and I like to have that band. It's like when you have game bandwidth when you're trying to get access to data and get into the actual console or PC or whatever platform you're playing. It's just like I like to have all that information available to me, and I don't want to try to figure out if it's my TV or if it's my internet or it's my console. It's just like when it comes to streaming and stuff like that, there's so many possibilities trying to figure out like what's going on, why I'm not seeing the best quality possible, or best experience possible when I'm playing this game. Because it's like if I see a lag to it, it's like you're gonna get irritated because he's trying to figure out like, is this the internet or what is this, the Stadia, the streaming, the PlayStation Now, or is like multiple things. And then at the same time too, you're looking at your monitor or your TV or whatever you're playing on, you're saying, is that 4K? Is that 1440p? Yeah. Am I really streaming, playing this game at this quality and stuff like it? Doesn't look like that. And so even though it's saying this is playing in 4K, but then you think it's like those are the type of stuff that you think about, and it's like you don't want to think about.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of like it mess up your whole gameplay experience, and that's where I was just coming from. Like it's just like right now we're not there yet. PlayStation was one of the first to come out with their whole streaming games, so it's kind of like we're still not there yet. It's like maybe in another 5 years, like you having more people working remotely, and when it comes to internet access and stuff like that. So I mean, who knows in the future?
Yeah. Well, all that stuff
like
came
right
from,
now. I just don't see it.
Yeah, well, all that stuff came from OnLive. They were the first ones to release cloud gaming to the world. They brought it out here, but it was horrible. Latency was like, I don't know, 20 milliseconds. I mean, it was horrible. And the first game that came out with it was like the last Duke Nukem they made, which was like the worst game ever made. And I had it and I played. I actually still have the console downstairs. So it's like collector's item, but nobody would ever be able to play it because they got bought out, I believe, by Steam or something. And then PlayStation came out with their PlayStation Now, but I hate that service. So, but hopefully this PlayStation Plus collection will change the game for them, and I'm hoping as well they get rid of PlayStation Now and just utilize that. So, I mean, what did I say last podcast? Did I say it was going to last longer? No, I don't think it's going to last too long. If they don't get it right the first time, and Xbox still has a Game Pass just booming out of the door, that's not going to last long. It's going to go right back to PlayStation Now, and they're probably going to try to update that to compete more with Game Pass.
Yeah. And so you brought up a good point. So if you guys didn't know, let's kind of like bring this up. I was kind of like texting at the same time too, trying to make sure we let people know that we're live and stuff. But no, let's go back to the PlayStation. So So if you're lucky, I'll say this: if you're lucky to get a PlayStation 5, we talked about this whole game, PlayStation Plus games that you'll be able to get if you get a PlayStation. So if you get a PlayStation 5, you get access to how many games is it? I think it was like 10 games. I took a picture of it right now.
Okay.
But you get to play all the old PlayStation. It's called PlayStation Plus Collection. So all PlayStation Plus subscribers. So once you get to PlayStation 5, you'll be able to play on day one. You get to play Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, God of War, Infamous, Second Son, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Monster Hunter World, tongue-tied, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 10, Persona 5, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Until Dawn. So you get to play those PlayStation 4 games for free on the PlayStation 5 day one. So my question is, do you think that Sony is starting to be more like Xbox when it comes to this regard with a Game Pass?
I mean, they better. That's the only, they have to be just like them, or if not, offer more and just take a loss on it. I mean, we already know that it takes money to make money. So they may have to offer that for free for a short period of time and let everybody get on it, and then tell them of a subscription service with it. I mean, it does say PlayStation Plus Collection, so they may do the whole integrated with PlayStation Plus if you have it. So I'm not too sure on what that is and what they're going to do with that, but I think that's the best option. When you got somebody that's a titan in the game, you just don't. Well, I shouldn't say that, because sometimes things work for other people and different strokes for different folks. But me, if I was Sony, I will not charge anybody that for at least a few months, or just let them know that it's in beta. And just like GeForce Now did. GeForce did it for years and it was free until they finally got it all together and the system was at low latency. That's why GeForce Now is the best out of all of them, because they've been doing this for years for free and letting people use it. Because if it's free, you don't get mad at it. And if it's not working right, and that kind of draws you back to it to see, all right, did they do better this time? It's been a couple months. Let me see what's going on. They should do that. They shouldn't just charge off the bat like Google did. Google was supposed to have a free version when it first came out, and that they never lived up to that. It was not free. So that's why they're in the position that they are in now. And it's like the worst out of all of them, because Microsoft Game Pass is almost on the same level as the GeForce Now, especially as far as latency and the bang for the buck. Those are like the two that's doing it right now, GeForce and Game Pass.
Well, it's funny. You brought up another point. So what was so funny is that for Sony PlayStation specifically, I don't know what it is now. It's like they used to be so they went from anti-consumer on the way. I'm going back to the PlayStation 3. Mm-hmm. PlayStation 3, they charge $600.
Yep.
And when Xbox 360 came out during that time as well too, Xbox 360 were selling more consoles than PlayStation 3 during that time, but it ended up being PlayStation 3 sold more consoles. But everybody was going to Xbox 360 because, you know, they was coming up with their own, not the Game Pass, but Xbox Gold subscription. And they was giving out, you know, like these free subscriptions during that time. And everybody was saying like how Xbox 360 was so pro-consumer. When you get to the PlayStation 4, Sony was just like, okay, we learned our lesson and stuff, and now we're going to be pro-consumer, where we're going to do this whole PlayStation Plus, where we're giving people free games and stuff like that. And it's backwards compatible with the PlayStation 3. You don't have to do this whole issue with this data switching. I think that's what kind of like messed Xbox at that time. Xbox One, where just saying that if you have one of your buddies who want to borrow your game, Xbox One let them borrow their game because they had to do an update. Yeah, that kind of like blew up in their face. But then everybody was going to PlayStation 4 and saying like PlayStation 4 is always pro-consumer and stuff like that, which that's what brought me over to PlayStation 4. Well, I bought like all the consoles, but it made me love PlayStation more because it was giving all that stuff for free with the PlayStation Plus and all these other benefits and stuff. So it's just been like Sony been so good with that. Now we go to the PlayStation 5. It's kind of like, now specifically I'm talking about the backwards compatible games and stuff like that. They've been so hush about everything. And even the issue with the whole Miles Morales game, where they was talking about, this game is not going to work on PlayStation 4 because, you know, this is next generation console and it can only play on the PlayStation 5.
That news is still mixed up though.
What did you say?
That news is still so mixed up about the Miles Morales, because now they're saying it can't go to PlayStation 5. So I'm not understanding what's going on with the whole Miles Morales deal.
Here's the thing. Here's the crazy part. Okay, so but back to the Spider-Man Miles. When this game was announced, they said it only could be played on PlayStation 5. Xbox had the notion as in play this game on any system, Xbox One X, the Xbox One S, Xbox. You can play these games. We'll support these. You can play whatever game you want on the Xbox One, on the Xbox platforms and stuff like that. You just won't get the highest optimized game on the Xbox Series X, which is great. But with Sony, on the other hand, when I was looking at the trailer, I was like, this game could be played on the PlayStation 4. And so, I mean, it looks good, but it could be played on the PlayStation 4. So here's the crazy part. So what they did was they backtracked and said, play it on PlayStation 4 now. It looks good, but it up. He said, we're not going to leave the PlayStation 4 behind. You will be able to play the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. And here's the real tricky part, and which is, it's just downright anti-consumer, and then at the same time too, it just didn't make apps. So you could bring if you pre-order the Miles Morales on your PlayStation 4, you get to play it on your PlayStation 4. When you get your PlayStation 5, if you're unable to get the pre-order or get the PlayStation 5, or whenever you get the PlayStation 5, you get to transfer that game over to the PlayStation 5 free update with the PlayStation 5 graphics, no issue. However, the Spider-Man game will not transfer over.
I mean, it's crazy.
And they are making a Spider. So they made a Spider-Man remaster game for the PlayStation 5. But the only way to get the remaster version is if you get the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, but my question is,
which is $70.
Why would you even want the remaster version? Because the Spider-Man that we got, last year before last? Yeah.
2018, yeah.
It doesn't need to be remastered. It's still current gen graphics as of now. I mean, you can make it
120 hertz. They said they added ray tracing, and then for a second, because I think the game was running on 30. And then it helps with the load time too. I mean, they show some pictures,
but that doesn't help though. That doesn't help because if you say you can play a PlayStation 4 game on a PlayStation 5, why is that one any different from the same features that you're saying compared to all the other games?
Well, no, but this is the issue. Yeah, I get your point. Let's talk about that in a minute. But here's the issue: people who bought that game, Spider-Man, in 2018 will not be able to upgrade to the remastered version on PlayStation 5.
I think that's dumb.
You'll be able to play. You'll be able to play the game on this Sony. Get to play that game on PlayStation 5 with the PS4 graphics, but not remastered and with no issue. But if you want to get the remaster version where you get the ray tracing and the higher frame per second, you have to buy the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition for $70.
I'm not doing that.
And the game is not going to be a standalone game. So yeah, I'm pretty pissed off. So how
much is the Ultimate Edition?
Huh?
How much
$70. Is $70. So for me, I was talking to friend. So I already bought the bundle from GameStop. So GameStop, and it comes with the Spider-Man game. What I'm going to do, it just comes with the Miles Morales Day 1 edition. So it's $50. So what I'm going to do is I put from Best Buy the Ultimate Edition, and I guess when I get my whole system, I'm going to go ahead and just return the Standard Edition.
I was just getting ready to say that. So the Spider, no, you're talking about Miles Morales, the regular one you have?
Yeah. So how they did the bundle, I like the bundle that they provided because I don't call them to mess with my order and they end up making a mistake. And I don't want to go. But the bundle that they came with was the Miles Morales game. The standalone game was $50, and then I guess this All-Star Destruction that is coming out on the PlayStation 5. So I get two games, those two games, extra controller, and then PlayStation Plus subscription with that bundle. But I thought it was going to be the Ultimate Edition, but it wasn't the Ultimate Edition. I was confused about that whole order, and so I just went ahead and went to Best Buy, just go ahead and pre-ordered the $70 one. I mean, it's just is a $20 difference. So I was like, I'll go ahead and just chalk it up. But to the whole point of the matter is that if you already bought the Spider-Man game, I don't see why they just give you the remaster free, because Xbox is saying like, well, all the games that you bought is already going to be optimized for Series X and stuff.
Yeah,
for free.
Yeah. So I guess the way I'm thinking is because I still have the original Spider-Man. So say if I were to give in and get the Ultimate Edition, if I'm going to get Spider-Man again, then I might as well just trade in my original Spider-Man because I have no use for it.
But I had the digital edition, so it's like I can't.
I have a physical copy.
Yeah, so if you had the physical copy, you could trade it in. I mean, I bought the digital copy, but so it's kind of weird because it's like what Sony should have did is that they should have said like, you get to transfer over your Spider-Man over to the PlayStation 5, which you can if my memory serves me correctly, but you just won't get the remastered version. That's the part that people are getting upset about, because you can't get the remastered Spider-Man game as a standalone game. The only way you're going to get the remastered Spider-Man game is if you buy the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition.
Yeah,
and so that's where people are upset about, and then the issue is that like, okay, why are you doing this to us?
So what's crazy about all this? And I'm seeing a trend here. And by the way, Bob Lopez, thanks for liking the page. When we used to get new consoles when they came out, even with the PlayStation 3, because we were online by Xbox and PlayStation 2, but PlayStation 2 didn't get into the online thing until they saw what Xbox was doing, and it was like, all right, we probably should add this box or whatever it was to get online. However, PlayStation 2 did it, and then PlayStation 3 came on the scene, and it was free, and they had digital version of games, not the whole library, but they had a lot of stuff. But the trend that I'm seeing is that because all these games already exist, it seems like it's causing more trouble for the developers in these new generation games to not make it a smooth transition for the games that we want to come out. For an example, you got Halo that I was heavily looking forward to, and it just got basically bombshelled on. And then now we have the Spider-Man Miles Morales. Back in those days, when they announced those games, you had those games at the point that they said they were going to have, and we still had online and connected devices. So but I mean, granted, I sometimes I forget. I mean, there is the pandemic going on. I just wish we could get solid news on if things are not ready. Don't push it to be ready. Just say up front that this game is coming out for this date, and leave it to us. Don't say this is a launch date game. This is a launch day game. And next thing you know, this is not going to be upgraded to that. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. And because of this and because of that. And I'm like, man, like, you got me. I might as well just PC game. Because if it releases to the PC, I'm good to go. And just like the whole Batman thing with Arkham Knight. Is that the last? Yeah, that's the last one.
Yeah.
They released that with all the bugs. And you still was able to play it. And I guess they don't want to do that. Well, it makes sense, right? When you got a new console come out, you want it to be perfect. So PCs, you don't have to worry about it. And maybe that's what I'm used to. But I just feel like for you to tell us something and say this is going to happen this day, and a month down the line you tell us this is not going to happen. This game has been in development probably for a couple years. And I feel like they should have known that at least a year ago that, with the progress of this is not going to work. Maybe it's different. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just pulling stuff out of my behind. Maybe they fired a bunch of people and put them in that position. So who knows? So I just hate that every time they tell us that we're going to get something, and the closer we get to launch date, all this stuff get pushed behind. And it's like, you know what? We already got all these existing games. Just play all these that you already played, that you already bought, and they're going to be in 4K 60. And some of them are not going to even be that. It's just, hey, go play these games, and we'll let you know when the rest of them come out. So, I mean, that's what's driving me crazy right now with this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I get where you're coming from. So this is a little bit different. You still talking about the whole Halo thing?
I told you every episode I'm gonna talk about that until it come out.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I understand you upset. Xbox Series X. The thing is that all the games that I purchase and stuff is still going with me. And with the Game Pass and stuff, I get to play even more games. And the thing is that like I said, I want the Xbox Series X because they even showed some preliminary reviews. Well, actually,
they were awesome.
Yeah, it's just like all your games that they show or demo, they weren't even optimized, but they played views. Well, actually, they got higher frames and stuff. Most of the games that they had was 60 frames per. It went up to 60 frames per second, except for I think it was a few games that was capped at 30 frames per second, which is not. It's not Microsoft's fault. It's the developers who made that game that put a cap on there. But all the games that they showed, the majority of them were 60 frames per second. It looked better. For what I can see, if you guys are Foundry and look at their video demo showing the game, because I think it was demoing Monster Hunter, which is playing at 60 frames per
I'm
per
looking
second,
forward to that one. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So it showed at 60 frames per second. It had a little bit. And this is before the system was launched. So who knows? They're gonna make some updates, and this is not even optimized for Xbox Series X. This is just showing what a small portion of what the system can do. It's not even using the RDNA 2 that Xbox is claiming that AMD has, that's showing the capabilities of it. No, this is like a small portion of what the system could do. So it took all the backlog games, and they played it or demo it, and it was showing better graphics, better high texture, It was showing higher frame per second. It was showing the load times on there, which was going from, I think some cases like Red Dead Redemption 2 went from, I think it was a couple minutes just to load to down under a minute, which is great for me because I love Red Dead Redemption 2. It was just a loading time just took forever. It was just annoying the crap out of me.
With that Xbox Quick Resume, the demo I saw, it was amazing, man. I can only imagine playing Grand Theft off of it because that one had long loading times too.
Yeah, they was showing Grand Auto, and it was just like a couple seconds that was just loading and stuff like that. So when you were talking about your point about Halo and stuff like that and companies like that, I really don't care. Take as long as you need to and stuff, because I know this game is going to be coming out eventually and stuff like that. I want it to be the best game possible. So it's just like, for me, it's not going to deter me from getting the Xbox Series X. I'm getting the system and stuff.
I'm just frustrated with all these delays and with all these promises that you're saying, hey, this is going to be on this. And then they be like, all right, we changed it. It's only going to be on the Ultimate Edition. And Spider-Man is not the only game that does that. I think Control is one of them. What's another game?
Yeah, Control did that too. It depends on by the developer. But since Sony owns that studio, Insomniac, owns that game, they can make it. They should have just made it free. It should have been a free upgrade and stuff like that. Developers on the other studios, I understand they don't have control of that and stuff, which is understandable. But it's just like, if it's under your umbrella, as in like, we own the studio and we own the game. You should be able to do more. Yeah, you should make it as a free upgrade and stuff like that. If you want to get the remaster version, if you already bought the Spider-Man game, then you automatically get upgraded free. I don't know why they should have made it just a free upgrade. You shouldn't have go through hoops, because if you really try to break it down, it just doesn't make any sense. First, you said that Miles Morales wasn't backwards compatible with PlayStation 4. Then when it announced a couple of weeks ago, then Sony was compatible with PlayStation 4. But then it said like, okay, we made it backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4. So if people buy the PS4 version of Miles Morales, they could go ahead and take that game and move it to the PlayStation 5 free of charge, and they'll get the PlayStation 5 capabilities of Miles Morales. But if people who bought the Spider-Man game back, the Spider-Man digital version, they wouldn't be able to get the remastered version of the PlayStation 5 version. And he said the only way you're going to get the remastered version of the PlayStation 5 of Spider-Man is if you buy the ultimate version of Miles Morales. Yeah. That's the part that people are getting upset about. It's like, you could do it, Sony, but you just don't want it.
Yeah. And I mean, but it all boils down to, what happens, at the end of this year. And I hope that a lot of you guys were able to pre-order you guys' system. Me and Max, we went through complete hell trying to pre-order these things, but we were able to get them. And and Max, kind of offered our buddies, because he had an extra pre-order for PlayStation, and I just hopped on it. And so,
hold on for a minute. Oh, well, I will say, yeah. But I did say to him, I gave him a caveat. I said if GameStop or cancel my, I said, I will give you my pre to the PlayStation 5. But if they do somehow and stuff like that, I like I said, I have to go back and say, like, dude, PlayStation 5, because the reason why I bought 2 pre-orders of the PlayStation 5 is because I've been getting a lot of news that Amazon is canceling people pre-orders or delaying their pre-orders and saying like, well, your pre-order is not going to come on the day of launch. It will come next year and stuff like that. So I got nervous and stuff, because thinking that GameStop may do the same thing. And so I went ahead and hopped on and that. Thank you, Sony. And I will say, Sony, thank you for sending me the email. Sony sent me an email saying I was chosen people that could go ahead and purchase a PlayStation 5 system. So I bought another PlayStation 5 system just as a backup if GameStop for some reason cancel my order.
Yeah, I don't think you have a problem with GameStop. It's never. They have had issues, and I really hate that I'm saying this because I hate GameStop.
Well, hold on for a minute. Before you finish your thought. So hold on for a minute. This is what brings me back to this point about GameStop. So that's the reason why I got through pre-orders. So if GameStop cancel and stuff like that, then I'll have the backup for the that comes from Sony. Mm-hmm. But if I do get to the to PlayStation, of course I'm going to go ahead and give it to Moan and stuff because he asked for it first, and that was like one of the reasons why I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do that because he was asking for a PlayStation 5 for quite some time. But anyway, going back to the Amazon issue, GameStop, this is what the news I wanted to bring to you. So GameStop in Europe, not in the United States, GameStop in Europe are sending emails to customers saying that we don't have enough pre-orders to fulfill the launch date.
I saw that. It's ridiculous.
So they're going to get that pushed back to 2021 is when they're going to get their system. So that's where I wanted to bring this topic today.
Yeah.
To talk about.
Yeah, I saw that. So yeah, Amazon is not the only one that's going through that. It is, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's other retailers like Walmart. Walmart fits in that description of what they would do because of how they do business and how they do things. So I mean, you never know. I mean, what's the most recent news? Let me see if I can find something on this.
Well, Amazon already sent emails to people saying like, "Hey, we have for PlayStation, even the Xbox too," and so they're sending emails out to customers. So that made me very. And GameStop in Europe are sending emails telling people say, "Hey, we don't have enough units for the launch day, and you were one of the selected few that unfortunately will have to wait to 2021." And so that's where I'm getting like. Look, I'm upset about it because the fact is, and you got the pre-order,
right?
Even some people even stand in line at GameStop. I've been seeing some videos on YouTube that people even like camped overnight just to get a pre-order and just to hear
that you may or may not get on launch day. That drives
that you
me crazy.
may or may not get it. So what these companies should have done is that. Sorry, you was unable to get it. Don't let the customer go through and get the purchase, and then all of a sudden say to them a couple weeks down the line, saying like, "Hey, units." What they should have done was like, "Nope, we only had this many units on this day or the next day, and this is all we could fulfill."
Man, like I told you before.
Yeah, and they automatically cancel the people who made it through because it's like these pre-order days has been like. It's been hell.
This is the worst.
Stuff like that.
Like
it was the worst. I think this is like the time. I say this new generation of consoles has been the worst experience when it comes to pre-ordering stuff. It's not like how it used to be when the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 came out, where you could just go to GameStop, or you go to Best Buy, or you go to Amazon. You can go ahead and just casually pre-order the system anytime you want to, knowing that you're going to get the system. This time around is so different because everybody is at home, and I don't know where it is. It's just everybody's want to get a next generation system and stuff like that, and it's just been crazy.
Yeah, just like I said before, it seems like now everybody has money, no matter this whole pandemic. Everybody's sitting at home, and I mean, it kind of plays a role, right? Nobody's using gas like they used to. Nobody's going out to eat anymore and going to their places like the gym. And I mean, even though all the stuff just opened back up, nobody is spending the amount of money they used to on a daily basis. So everybody has money now and they're investing in it. Just like I think it was last episode before, we talked about how webcams are unavailable. You go to IKEA, all of their office stuff is gone. That type of thing. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like I said before, it's on a factory line. This is what I said either last episode before, or a few before. I just feel like I don't see why they can't make the systems available. I think the only hands-on is probably the people that's on the high-low that has to load it all in the truck and take it to where it has to go. But as far as making the systems, and because everything's done by machine, it's just like going to a Ford factory. They go in there, all these machines, put all this stuff together and do this and do that. I don't see how come they can't make enough pre-orders and enough hardware to be able to dish out to everybody. They used to do it back in the day. Back in the day, we had some of these problems where you go to GameStop and or wherever the case may be, and they run out, and like literally either between the next day or maybe a week after, they had more, and you're able to run in there, you're able to grab it and try to beat people to it. It don't seem like it's the case this time. Now, I will say, with the experience of the whole Bitcoin thing, where I think AMD took a hit on it, where they put out all of these graphics cards that they thought people were going to buy, and they put so much out on the shelf that they were getting their revenue back, and people weren't buying them because they bought, you know, the hardware that they needed. A lot of them went to Nvidia, and they were doing all this mining stuff. And with the mining, people were set, and they didn't have to buy anymore. So I think they're limiting the quantity on purpose, so they don't have to go through that. I mean, that's just my opinion on it.
I don't know. I don't think they're limiting the
I think they're limiting it so they don't have to lose money. If you want my opinion.
Okay. If you're saying it that way, then I kind of, because I think with everything that happened with this whole pandemic and stuff like that, I think no company really anticipated the demand that like Sony and Microsoft is having right now. Because I think I think Sony and Microsoft thinking like, okay, this is going to be one of the worst pre-orders where not a lot of people is going to buy consoles. And I think they wasn't really anticipating that demand like that, because they were just, I mean, you hear it every day. People are losing jobs left and right. People are trying to figure out where they're going to get their ends meet and stuff like that. So companies are trying to forecast this as how many consoles should we actually, because when they do the quarterly review and stuff like their stockholders, they got to make sure they fulfill their requirements as it's saying like, hey, we all know we're going to sell a lot of consoles. Everybody's losing. So we're only going to make this much console stuff like that, so we don't have to lose money this quarter and stuff. That's what I think legitimately happened with Microsoft and Sony. I think they were just saying like, we only going to make this amount of consoles and stuff, and we'll just see what happens and stuff. So when this pre-order started happening, it probably blew them out of the waters because they never actually. But to your point, and I think they should have anticipated better, because I think if they would have looked at other technology companies like AMD, Intel, Nvidia, and Micro, I'm trying to think of the other companies right now, but if you look at Samsung, all these technology companies, if they would have looked at orders and saw that they was like blowing it out of expectation, like Logitech, just like we was talking about the webcams, they always sold out. AMD, Intel, when it comes to their computers and stuff like that, and work from home laptops and stuff, they blew it out of the water because is so much demand for laptop computers nowadays, because now people are working from home. Same thing for Nvidia. They didn't really anticipate that people was going to be buying GPUs. They just did like light launch and stuff like that. They went in and blew those pre-orders out of the water, because now GPU and stuff like that. It's the same thing with Microsoft and Sony. I think what they should have done was, to your point, is that when they started looking at the year and starting to see quarters are going with these other companies, that's why I think they should have ramped up more on the consoles. But then again, it could be a situation where the consoles probably wasn't even ready and stuff at a certain point. It's like Microsoft said that it was ready, but who knows? They probably they started making their consoles in late August and starting in September.
Well,
Same thing for Sony.
I feel like they should have another date for a second round of pre-orders. Somewhat PlayStation had it, but it was through GameStop. It was their deal, their thing. But PlayStation and Xbox should have another round of pre-orders to really, especially with all the people that did, even the top YouTubers, a lot of them did get consoles. So there's still a huge market that they didn't hit as far as everybody having everything else. Now, if they all do a second round of pre-orders, I believe whoever's the first one to do it will have the most sales, because right now everybody's desiring these things immediately. So if Microsoft was to come out with it first, they're going to hit it out of the water. If Sony was to do it first, it's going to be the same thing. Now, I may be wrong. It may be the same with both. But I think whoever comes out with the second round of pre-order first is going to grab a huge market share. And that's just, and I believe they should take heed to that, because there's a lot of our friends that don't have it still, that they want it. So
yeah, but okay. So this is kind of like, because you said second round. Sony did do a second round of pre-orders and stuff, and because I was able to get the second round, they did a second round with their emails. Like if people sign up on Sony.com and they do the PlayStation ID and stuff like that, it was first. I don't think it was first come. I don't know. Selected you, but if you were selected, you were able to pre-order a PlayStation 5 with no issue. The disc or the discless version.
No, see, that's a special one. I'm talking about with all the retailers like we did on pre-order day. That's what I mean. Not the special. Like they can all release their whole special sign up thing, but as far as having mass consumers, for especially for parents that their kid doesn't have an Xbox or something, they don't have a Microsoft or PlayStation Network account. Everybody should be able to just go in and get one. That's what I mean. Should PlayStation and Microsoft do their own specific where they know people will buy it from their gamer tags? Absolutely. I think Microsoft should do it too. I don't know why they haven't. I think that was a good idea from PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just that I think both companies couldn't really anticipate, and it just comes.
But they know now. So release the second
round. Now. They know now. And I think after once this next generation comes out, is released, I think they're going to start to go to the drawing board as in when they release their next generation console. They're going to have to come up with a better way for people to pre-order their system. And it's just like what I mentioned before in the last podcast. It's like you bots who use these scripts that they'll buy 10 or 20 consoles or systems all at once in less than a minute. And people like myself and Moan, or people who are trying to get a system, they'll be out of luck because that store will be out of system. And who use their script to buy multiple consoles will go ahead and flip it and go on eBay. Stuff like, oh, this game is this system is $1,000. I was able to get pre-orders and stuff like that. That's something that these companies stop. And and this is what eBay needs to do. eBay needs to penalize those people and say some stuff as in like, okay, you're trying to make some money. Okay, cool. You only can sell this system $50 over the actual retail price and stuff. Right. That's what they need to do and stuff. Just like how the whole pandemic was. You had people was buying all the toilet paper, was buying all the
that was so irritating, man.
Yeah, and then what they was doing was they was going on Amazon. Toilet paper was like going for like $100, which didn't make absolutely no sense.
No, it's like, I'm not buying no toilet by that paper. Time, it's time to use a beat up shirt.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So I'm what not Amazon did. Can't sell this price. You only can sell it for this and stuff like that. Just because you did that and stuff, you could no longer sell on. And so those people who got all that supply, who spent thousands and thousands of dollars and stuff like that, they left with all the supply and stuff, and now they're stuck with it. And that's exactly what eBay should do. The same thing.
You know, it's funny, and I know this is off subject, but did you see the article where the guy bought 17,000 hand sanitizers and the government shut him down for selling them at a higher price and made him give it all up?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He had toilet paper too. Yeah.
Okay.
And so where I'm going with this is that people who did this multiple pre-orders, like 10, 20, and then trying to resell them on eBay, that's the people who should get penalized. It's the same thing for Nvidia. Go astronomical on eBay, they should do the same exact thing. It's just like it's like it sucks because you the parents or you're talking about the kids who are trying to get the next generation system. They're just out of luck because they're saying like, oh, I have to go 2-3 times the amount of money that I'm supposed to pay for it. And you see some people do buy it and stuff, which is very unfortunate and stuff. But it's just a thing is like these companies should put something in place that, okay, if you're trying to make some money off of this, cool, that's good. But you only can make this amount of money. You only can make $50 or worst case scenario, $75 or $100 off of it. But they shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't. And that's where these companies need to step in and even look at some of the orders, look at the pre-orders and say, oh, this person X, Y, and Z bought 20 consoles from us, 20 Xbox Series X from us, and 10 Xbox Series S from us. We should limit this person to only get one console per household or something like that, or 2 consoles per household and stuff. Same thing with PlayStation. They should do the same exact thing. And then while they do that, then the people who couldn't get the pre-orders, they'll go ahead and send them an email, say, hey, I know you tried to buy this console. Do you still want to buy it? Yes or no? And then they'll go ahead and just give that person the pre-order.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, we'll see what happens when all this stuff comes out. I think this is going to be a really fun generation to be a part of, especially with the new shift of frame rates and resolution that we're getting ready to get into. And I'm telling you, once a lot of you, if you have a 4K TV, most normal 4K TVs will run at 60 hertz, and that's what these consoles are targeting. So a lot of the market share is going to be able to experience the new butter smoothest of all the gameplay that's going to come out. Now, everything is not going to be supported. All of the Xbox enhanced games or like the PlayStation first exclusive games are mostly all going to use the peak port of the hardware. But you're going to see a lot of improvements in a lot of the old games as well. So I'm looking forward to it. A lot of people if you haven't gamed anything higher than 60 frames, you're in for a complete shock at how games. I mean, this is the way it's supposed to be played, especially at 4K. 4K 60. I mean, it's awesome. I recommend, like I said before, higher than 60. But if you've never seen anything over 30, then you're really gonna be blown away by this, especially all of the quick resume stuff and the fast SSD technology. Sony has the better SSD. So we'll see. I don't know how many of you are going to buy the external SSD from Microsoft, and a lot of you are upset about it. But if you don't know about that, I mean,
$20. That's a lot of money just to buy one. I get it. And you brought up a real good point too, and we didn't even talk about this. I didn't mean to cut you off and stuff like that, but yeah, $220 for that, and this. I'm just thinking about what Sony is going to do, and when it comes to their, they
don't want to do another Vita. I'll tell you that right now. They're not going to. They're not going to price a card like that high.
So there's some caveats with the Xbox Series X. So you still could use your external storage, your external hard drive that you have on your current Xbox One. You could have that on the Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S. However, when it comes to backward compatible games, like your old games for the Xbox, you could play the games on the Xbox Series X, but however, you won't get the upgraded graphics on the Xbox Series X as if you have that game downloaded on SSD on there. Also, too, you won't be able to play Xbox Series X games that is on the external hard drive. That they won't let it work because the thing is it won't work with that work with their system. So that's something to keep in mind too. But you are able to save your Xbox Series game on the external hard drive and have that transfer over to to play the game.
Yeah, they said it's still quick too to transfer it over, so that's a plus.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Yeah, and I saw some YouTubers and Engadget. Yeah, I forgot who else, but they show like some of those transfer times coming from an external drive to the SSD. So depending on your internet provider, if you don't download games from the system, that's an option. But that's the caveat. You wouldn't be able to utilize the upgraded graphics or the frames per second of the Xbox Series X from the external hard drive. You have to transfer that over to your your internal SSD and stuff like, which makes sense because because you want to be able to access that philosophy architecture that Xbox have and stuff, that philosophy system. Their capability of the philosophy architecture. That's what I'm trying to say. And so, yeah, hopefully some other companies will come up with a better way to do that. But it's just the thing is, like Moan said this before, SSDs, it's just in general, it's just really expensive.
Well, not SSD, really external SSDs that are trying to push all the power through a USB 3.1 port. But the smartest thing PlayStation can do is leave it up to the suppliers. So Seagate, Western Digital, instead of having their own proprietary thing, let people go out and find the cheapest external SSD that will allow the speeds to match what's on the system. Xbox, I don't think, like I said before, that was what was the downfall of the PlayStation Vita, when they had these proprietary cards and you couldn't put anything else in it, and nobody bought it because I think like a 4 gig card was like $50. It was stupid. So and it just the console went downhill. It was an awesome handheld console, and Nintendo had nothing on it because it had like PlayStation 3 performance or something like that, maybe 4 at times. But I guess it's the most easiest solution because it's proprietary to Xbox for the whole pushing the car thing. But I can't imagine it's a difference when you tell somebody that buy external SSD, then to say, here's our memory card, but it's $200. Because when you tell me memory card, I'm thinking back to Dreamcast, PlayStation, when they had the memory cards.
Those things were like $20.
Yeah, so that's what's in my mind. Yeah, that's what's in my mind. So then but I told Max before, even before they released the price, I'm like, oh, that's a 1 terabyte external SSD. That's gonna be over $150, $200. I knew that for a fact. So
yeah, I think. Yeah, I was just gonna say. I said if it was like a 2 SSD, then even a 2 terabyte. That's
they need to come out with a 500 gig. If you want my opinion, where you can shove it in there, you get 1.5 terabytes. You'd be able to download at least 12 to 15 games, maybe. But if you download a bunch of the Xbox Game Pass games, you'll get a lot of them on there because they're not so much. But a game like Call of Duty, that's 200 some plus gigs, or Destiny is over 100, and Halo Master Chief Collection is over 100, and that type of stuff. So when where we're going to see the hit in these games is the new exclusives and the new games that hasn't been out yet. Those games are going to be 90 to 100. Like Battlefield is 100 gigs, 100 some gigs. So all the new games that's going to come out, you're only going to be able to get about 6 or 7 games on there, especially if they're 200 apiece, and then you're not getting the full terabyte. That
stuff. But anyway, we're getting close to the end. Before we go, we are going to be on another podcast tomorrow. Stubbs Gaming.
It's not tomorrow. It's October, I believe.
Oh, is it October? Okay,
yeah.
My days mixed.
Yep, I sent it to your Google calendars. I think it's October 14th.
Okay, never mind. I made a mistake. Okay, so we're going to be on. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. This will be our first time being a special guest on another podcast. I know we're brand new to this thing, and we're having fun with it. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. I actually met another podcaster, Green Pass Gaming. I met him through Twitter. He reached out to me. So, and he's been retweeting my stuff. Max met Stubbs Gaming. I don't know what platform you met him on. Was it Twitter or any other?
It was Twitter. It was very where I'm at. Stuff gaming.
So these guys they're reaching out to us. They like our podcast show. You know, they're supporting us and all the stuff that you guys are doing. We're getting a lot of support from you guys. We're getting a lot of feedback, the good and the bad. We love it all. I mean, like I told you, our first episode, we truly appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. What we can do better, what we can do worse. Me and Max are still trying out new things with this whole computer thing and make this more immersion. Right now, I guess we're going to wait before we really upgrade this podcast and make it look like something you see on the news, because I need a little bit more hardware. Max is getting ready to build his gaming PC. So there's a lot of stuff coming. Max and I also are planning on doing our own unboxings of the new consoles. Max is going to do it on his page. He's going to do an edited video version. I'm going to do a live video unboxing. So stay tuned for that. And
stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Also, I have my
Xbox and PlayStation.
yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I have my retro streaming event tomorrow. So make sure you guys stay tuned. That's going to be on my page tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So this is going to be the first time I do it. I'm playing one of our old school games, so come take a look at it. It's on my page, Monon Gaming. So follow, subscribe to both of our pages. Max Chambliss, I'm Moan Dog. So come with us. Come at. We have a lot of content.
Yeah, please subscribe, give us a like, comment, set up notifications for the next video. We greatly appreciate it and stuff. But until then, let's gonna call this a wrap.
Yeah. Oh, also expect to see the AMD event coming up. I think it's in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it's in October.
Yeah, so
second week of October or something. I think it's probably, if I'm not, it could be next week, I think.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
So
but we're excited for that. That's going to determine which route we're going to go in. There's a lot of things that say that AMD is going to have a card that's going to beat the 3080. In fact, I always keep saying 2080. The 3080. So we'll see. Or if it matches it at a lower price, I mean, that's awesome. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. I hope everyone have a good one.